Hey y'all, it's Mr. 6'8" in the house, back at you with a new video. Look, I know I've been gone. Look, I be trying to sit here and keep up, but there's be too much going on. But today's topic is gonna be a little special, near and dear to my heart, okay? Because I am Mr. 6'8" and I do believe in bridging the gap between straight people and gay people. Say it with me. Straight people and gay people. Okay, you got it? Cool, keep it going. So, we are going to talk about discovering sexual identity. Now, the reason why I want to talk about discovering sexual identity is because, glad you asked, is because of the fact that, for the longest, I have had issues with my identity, okay? Listen, I started out as being a straight man, a confused straight man, going to, don't know what I am, going to, bisexual man, and now I'm back at finally a black gay man. Yeah, you heard correctly, a black gay man. Not just a black gay man, but a gay man in general, okay? Why put race in it? A gay man in general. Keep going. So, without further ado, roll that beautiful bean footage. We got a lot to talk about. Mr. 6'8" at you with a new video as I sit here and tell you my business because I know y'all nosy anyways. Here we go. Hit it. Okay, so just to start off here and get directly to the point, because I know that y'all attention span ain't that great if it's like mine. So I want to get down to a couple of basic definitions, okay? Let's first start with, what does the word gay mean? Okay, glad you asked. Let's see here and go to it. So the word gay means pretty much somebody of a person that's homosexual, meaning that somebody that likes the same sex. Okay, cool, got it. Keep going. Now, the next one is asexual. So, asexual means without sexual feelings or associations, okay? So basically, if you're attracted to a person, but there's no sexual feelings, but you just have this attraction, but you ain't really like getting your rocks off, that's basically what asexual means, at least my interpretation. Keep going. Then you have pansexual, okay? So pansexual is basically not limited in sexual choice with regard to biological sex, gender, or gender identity, okay? Then, last but not least, the one that everybody gets up in arms about, transsexual, okay? So transsexual is a person who is emotionally or psychologically feels that they belong to the opposite sex. So basically, if you are a man, born a man, okay, genetically, and you feel that you are meant to be a woman, that's basically what transsexual is, and vice versa. You get it? Okay, keep going. Whew, that was a lot to unpack. So you get my point, right? Okay, so the purpose of me sitting here making this video is to kind of educate people, okay? People that may not understand what it's like to go through life confused, okay? Now, I have been pretty much a gay man. Well, that's a little complicated. Let's run the story back in order for you to understand. Here we go. So it went a little something like this. So I was born, okay, in the year of 1988. 1988 was a good year, okay? Fast forward, okay, I spent a lot of my life as my childhood years pretty much being abused. Now, when I say abused, I mean sexually abused. Now, the reason for that is because of the fact that I didn't really stay at home where my family was. I was trying to get away because I was living in a very abusive home. My father was very abusive towards my mom. I didn't want to be there. And as a result, I used to hang out at other family members' house where a lot of bad things happened at. This unfortunately went on for quite some time. So much so to the point of where, as I got older as a teenager, it just really started to dawn on me that all I had ever known was the touch of another man. I didn't understand anything else in regards to when it came to being attracted to man or woman. I just understood that, hey, if this is what it's supposed to feel like as far as being attracted to somebody, it's going to be a man, because that's all I had ever known. Now, in between time, in middle school, I did have a girlfriend. I dated, okay, I liked it. My first kiss, I liked it, enjoyed it. Blase, blase, blase. If you go back to kindergarten, okay, I was also I recall the time, the guy was named Dominique, okay? I can call his name because I'm quite sure that by now he's long gone and I don't even know the boy or where he at. He could be on the other side of Timbuktu. Anyways, back to the story. See, I told you my attention span isn't that great. Keep it going. So, Dominique, used to kind of bully me, but not like bully. It was more so of a thing of where he would kind of like do stuff to intimidate me. And I used to feel myself having the feels in my stomach, child, the butterflies. Okay, I remember one day I was on the playground and he pushed me up against a brick wall and got up in my face. And baby, he had that curly hair like I got right here now. And it was just something about him, just the masculine energy, even though it was toxic, that just kind of made me feel some kind of way. But nonetheless, though, I do recall that one time that I felt that. Aside from me explaining to y'all that all I had ever known was the touch of another man, because of the fact that, like I said, bad things happen. Those were the cards that I were dealt. So because bad things happen, sometimes you just have to make lemonade out of lemons, right? Okay. So with that being said, as I got older, fast forward through middle school when I had my whole first girl experience with the first kiss, fast forward into high school when I dated a girl also. And I really liked the girl. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't that I wasn't attracted to the girl. It just was that there was a lot of drama, female drama, stuff I didn't understand, stuff I couldn't sit here and deal with, stuff that got on my nerve. Y'all females know what I'm talking about. High school stuff. Y'all like to keep up mess, riding by my house at night, okay? Calling my phone and not sitting here and saying anything, just sitting here and breathing on the phone. Who does that? Anyways, let me get off that because this ain't what this video is about. Well, it is about that, but it's not about that. Keep going. So, anyways, as fast forward, after I went through all of that, and I started to really discover myself, I had met this guy, okay? Now, the guy, mind you, I met him in Lowe's. My first sexual experience ever. Now, mind you, up until this point, once again, I told you all I had ever known was the touch of another man. But at the same time, I had never had a sexual experience voluntarily. So this was my first sexual experience voluntarily, to where it was going to be something that I had consented to, something I felt comfortable with, and something that I felt like, it was going to lead to something else, like romantically, right? So met him in Lowe's, got my number, blase. Okay, we flirting with each other. It was a rainy night in December. I felt some kind of way, went over there, and basically, if you want to call, that's the moment that I had my first experience and lost my virginity. Even though I had been violated involuntarily, I guess we can call it that for the sake of being politically incorrect or correct, right? So, with that being said, after that night happened, I felt really deep down like, okay, now here it is. I had my first experience with a guy voluntarily, and it felt great. I felt free. I felt like that, this was something that I wanted to be in. But then come to find out, what I thought was real was not real, and I got my heart broken, okay? The guy pretty much was running games, playing games, as most men do. Something I don't still understand to this day. Something that still irks my soul. Hold on a second, because let me sit here and grab a tissue. I ain't got time to be sitting getting emotional. Child, what's going on? Child, so then after all of that happened, I moved on to the next person, okay? It was a whole bunch of drama with the first situation, and by the second situation, I thought that the first situation had gave what it was supposed to have gave, child. Child, I had let that man sit here and pretty much bulldoze down in the alley, okay? And all through and through in the valley, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. And it felt great. At least I thought it did, until I had my second experience with a guy, okay? And when that experience came, baby, all I'm trying to sit here and say is what I thought the first experience had gave, which typically, if your first experience with a guy, you be thinking that, it was cute and everything. No, just wait till your second experience. Trust me, it gets better with each time. So the second experience came around, and baby, it gave what it was supposed to have given, okay? It had me in La La Land, but once again, same script, different cast. My heart got broken, me thinking that I was in love, and this is where the problem started to really come in at, when it came to me discovering my identity. Because, see, I thought it was God's way of punishing me because of the fact that I had finally came to the point after dealing with all of this stuff in my earlier years, with wrestling, with, trying to figure out who I was, the whole being a violated thing. And then on top of that, I forgot to even add growing up in the church. Now, let me tell you, pause right there, put a pin thumb in the second experience. Let's rewind back. So growing up in the church, really is what has been a conflict of me becoming comfortable in my identity. Because as you all know, when you grow up in a church, especially where I live at down south, which I'm in South Georgia, it's a whole different experience, okay? We don't talk about this stuff in the church. It's supposed to be that you're going to pray to get away. You are not going to go down that road, and you are going to like the opposite sex. Point blank, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no you thinking about anything else other than living your life sanctified and holy, okay? While underneath you are just as flawed as the next person. So that was my biggest thing that I struggled with throughout my whole entire life up until the point that I hit about 27, okay? And what I had come to realize in all of this is that people try so hard, and I want you to hear me out. People try so hard to really get you to be something that you're not because of the fact so that they can feel comfortable. It's not so much as trying to honor Christ, okay? Because I always say that the church is within yourself. Your spiritual journey is within yourself. It's not so much as people trying to get you to cross over to where you're supposed to be at. It's so that they can feel comfortable with your sexuality, okay? And that sexuality being that you are going to like the opposite of whatever you were born as, okay? And so what I had come to realize when I finally understood that I kept questioning God. Why? Why in the world would you sit here and always, every time I try to sit here and live my life, it's like another stumbling block come. I meet somebody, get my heart broken, or else I come across somebody and I fall back into the thing of where, Tristan, you ain't supposed to be, you're not supposed to be doing that. You know that ain't right. You know what the Bible says, okay? And it just really irked me because, it's always a thing about what the Bible says. The Bible says this, the Bible says that. But what does the Bible say when a person takes their life because of the fact that they don't feel like that they can be themselves, or they don't feel like they can live in their truth? What does it say about that then specifically to that context? Now, I'm not saying what it says in the commandment about what happens if you take your life and you going down below 6 feet under, . No, I'm asking, what does it say when a person gets to the point where they don't know how to live anymore because they feel in bondage and trapped? And, it really makes you analyze things and puts things into perspective, because by the time I had that second experience that I was telling y'all about in my early 20s, I thought that it was God that was really just, cursing me because of the fact that I wasn't doing what I felt like he wanted me to do, because of that's what had been taught and instilled into my head, on top of the fact that I was already dealing with past trauma and past hurt from being violated by all of those men in my family. Okay, and even though I had dealt with it in therapy, but therapy can only do but so much. There are some things that you will always still have residue all over you. Okay, no matter how much therapy you got, it's up to you to put in the work to really push forward each and every day. Those days when you don't feel like sitting here, getting up out of bed, those times that you don't feel like sitting here living, putting on clothes, doing stuff with your friends, and, trying to isolate yourself, those are the moments that I am talking about, okay? Those are the moments that I am talking about, because what I had come to realize is that even though, I had been through all of this stuff, but it still was not going to change the fact that deep down, my desire for men was still valid. And even though, I am attracted to a woman, even though, yes, I have went by bisexual, identified as bisexual for a very, very long time, just to sit here and satisfy my own conscience because of the fact that I was so worried about what other people would sit here and think. I finally woke up one day, and that day being pretty much yesterday, thinking to myself that I'm not going to live my life for nobody else. That's why a lot of my posts, if you follow me on social media, I'm always posting the hashtag Black Gay Man. Not because I'm trying to make people feel uncomfortable. It's so that I can speak mind over matter and get myself to feel comfortable with saying that, yes, I am a Black gay man. Yes, I don't have any shame with being a Black gay man. I cannot control how I feel, okay? It's not like I just woke up one day and said, oh, I'm going to just choose to sit here and be gay. And even though I've always stood by the fact that I've always said I didn't feel like I was born this way, only because of the fact that I feel like that I didn't have that chance to be able to grow into my own identity without other people being that my abusers, pretty much pushing me, into something before it was time for me to go down that road. I will always feel that at the end result, this is what the end result was going to be always, is that I was going to be attracted to men. Now, is it to say that I'm not attracted to a woman? Yes, I am. I love the silhouette of a woman. I can actually be turned on by a woman, but it's just the emotional side of me. And that's what really pulls, is the emotional side, because of the fact that I've only had one emotional experience to where I really felt drawn to a woman. So powerful that it really made me question everything. And that one person that really made me feel that way was much older than me. But at the same time, though, even though I was already of legal age, way beyond, this was like maybe 4 years ago, I had always felt deep down in my heart that a lot of what really makes me attracted to a person, it's not so much as whether they are a man or a woman. It's how they treat me, how they make me feel, how they make me feel accepted in life, and so forth and so on. So this was my struggle that I had to overcome, was just really being comfortable in who I was and not trying to make other people comfortable for their convenience, okay? It was about trying to be comfortable in who I am, okay? So if you got parents out there who are watching this, who have children, who you may feel like that, oh, well, you're not supposed to be this way, I still can't get over the fact that my child is gay. Get over it. It's not going anywhere, okay? The more you try to suppress what your child is feeling, the more that you are making it harder for them as an adult. And that's why we have a lot of toxic masculinity in the LGBTQIA plus community, as it is, because of the fact that you got people that don't know how to be vulnerable. You got people who have been trained and have been taught and have been raised to sit here and be this person that they're not, because of the fact that they didn't want to come off as weak or disappoint the people that they looked up to. Okay, so don't feel some kind of way because of the fact that your child chose a different path than what you had envisioned for them to sit here and be. Just learn to accept it. Live in the moment. Be open, okay, to other things that they may be experiencing or feeling. It's not to say that you have to be okay with it, but you can at least respect boundaries. It's all about respect. At least make the person feel comfortable. You never want to make somebody feel uncomfortable to the point of where they feel like they cannot be themselves around you, because that's what creates, see this right here? That's why this is right here. That's what creates people shutting down. That's what creates these men out here, especially speaking from my experience, who don't know how to be vulnerable and emotional, who don't know how to have a relationship because of the fact that they get so caught up in their own pride and toxic masculinity. It's hard for them to sit here and see anything else. Learn to be okay with somebody else's journey, okay? It's not your journey. Is it stopping you from sleeping at night? No, it's not stopping you from sleeping at night. It's not stopping you at all from sleeping at night. And see, by the time, I'm 33 now, so by the time it took me at least 12 to 13 years to really get to a point to where I don't have to sit here and go through life at least. Yeah, I still struggle. Yeah, I have issues. Yeah, I still deal with a lot of mental stuff. But at least I don't have to go through life anymore worrying about making somebody else feel comfortable for their convenience, okay? That's the biggest thing. If I don't do nothing else in life, my prayer was that don't let me live life having to try to make other people feel comfortable for their convenience. It's not your job to make somebody else feel comfortable. It's only your job to live your truth, mind your business, drink your water, okay, and be fabulous. That's the only thing that you have to do. Live for yourself. My godmom told me when I was going through a hard point in my life where I was constantly feeling suicidal, and she told me, she was like, just live. Learn how to live. Stop worrying about all the stuff around you that you cannot control. If people got a problem, let them deal with their own stuff. You can only focus on you. And I've had so many people to tell me that in the past 12 months that I've taken it as confirmation that it's okay to just sometimes be selfish for yourself. It's not to say that you have to cut yourself off from your family, but once again, as I mentioned earlier, the people that you look most up to can be the ones that fail you the most, can be the ones that disappoint you the most and let you down. And it leaves you feeling incomplete to where you don't know whether you're going or coming. It's a bad feeling to sleep at night and to have that on your consciousness to where you feel like that, dang, you know, I just wish that I can be like this person that I seen who can just live in their truth. It's a bad feeling to be of somebody else's narrative and somebody else's story. So when I'm telling you my experience, I'm not telling you to say, oh, don't worry about people in terms of ignore them, don't be their friend anymore. I'm just saying that you have to learn how to live with yourself, learn how to be comfortable with your own identity, because when you get to that point to where you're just ready to give up and you are suicidal and you're ready to take your own life, trust me, you won't get the dirt will be thrown on you 6 feet in the ground. People will sit here and remember you for about a week or 2 or 3 at most. And then you will be an afterthought as the years go by. Now here it is, you done sit here and took your own life because of the fact that you don't let somebody else be the narrative of your story. Stop letting people be the narrative of your story. Put it out there, speak it into existence. If you got to sit here and tell yourself in the mirror every single day that you are comfortable with being who you are. If you are gay, say that in the mirror. I'm comfortable with being a gay man. I ain't got a problem with it. I love myself, okay? If you got to say it 1,000 times, hell, write it on paper, okay? But whatever you do, don't sit here and let other people dictate your journey and your story. That's for you to sit here and have control over. If you don't have control over nothing else, you have that, okay? They say salvation is free, but it's also free to carve the path out for yourself, okay? Now, when it comes to religion, I'm not saying that you have to say and believe in the same God I do, but all I'm saying is that believe in something if you don't do nothing. Be yourself, believe in something, okay? But don't sit here and let people be the narrative of your own story, because you have to find you for you. And see, after I had passed that second experience with that guy, it took me constantly going through heartbreak after heartbreak to realize it's not that I'm feeling cursed by God because of the fact that I keep meeting these individuals and they're not working out. It just means that I haven't met the right one. It's not my time. Maybe it just means that I have certain expectations and standards, which is a whole nother topic. It's okay to have expectations and standards and for what you want out of life, whether it's from people or things. You can have expectations. Just let those expectations be the moral ground that you stand on. Don't sit here and compromise where compromise is not necessary, okay? It's not necessary to compromise your standards once again to make somebody else feel convenient, okay? Or make them feel like it's a convenience for them rather, okay? It's not your job to sit here and do that. Let your standards and expectations of yourself be that for yourself. It's not calling you selfish once again. It just means that you know what you want out of life. You know who you are. Okay? You are valuable. You are worthy. Trust me, you are not alone in this. It is a hard fight to sit here and live a life to where you're trying to discover your identity, okay? You're not just sexual identity, but hell, identity period, okay? So the more you get older in life, I'm telling you, if you're young and you're 20-something, I'm telling you, it gets better. You just have to keep hanging in there, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep getting up out of bed. Martha Wash made a song called Carry On. And I used to listen to that song every day, ever since I heard RuPaul mention his testimony behind it, because it really speaks about carrying on, pushing through, okay? When you feel like giving up, when things are pushing against you, still move forward, still learn to push forward. You are important. And hell, listen, take it from me. If your parents ain't telling you that you are important, if you feel like you've been thrown away, know that I care, okay? Take it from me. You are valuable. Don't let nobody sit here and dictate how you should feel. How you should feel is your feelings and your business, okay? Now, leave in the comments. Let me know what you see here and think. Like, share, subscribe to this video. It may help somebody. But just know that it gets better. It's not worth losing your life over something senseless because you feel like that life is not worth living anymore. You just got to learn how to be yourself. I love you, my fun sizers. Until next time, peace.